Give the floor here to the coaches. You know, what I'd like to do is keep it pretty simple, just with some questions and answers. You know, guys, this is your opportunity to ask questions about a lot of different things. You can ask questions about specific programs. You can ask about formations, philosophies, any kind of soccer stuff. You can ask about recruiting questions. You can ask about majors, whatever it is. You can ask general questions for all the coaches to answer. You can ask a specific program a question. Parents, feel free to ask questions as well, because there's going to be some awkward silence with these guys every now and then. Just start, that happens, start peppering away any questions that you have. You don't feel like you have to be in the silent on this one. Please feel free. Okay? I'm going to step back. Off you go.
All right. What GPA do you need to go to the college and play soccer? To all college. Like overall.
Each university is going to be different for admission standards. Each university, you've got Division 2, you've got Division 1 here, and even across the board, goes for general students. NCAA-wise, we need to look at eligibility status as well. So 2.3, 2.5 is bare minimum. Bare minimum to be eligible. Now that's also with an SAT or ACT score. So if GPA is lower, you have a higher SAT score or test score. But it's a lot very specific to the university.
At the NAI level where I am, it's a minimum of a 2.0 or an 18 on the ACT or 860 on the SAT. So going on what Coach is saying, you can find a place. There are places, levels for your academics. There's everything from the junior college to, you know, the elite academic institutions, as well as there are different places you can find these levels to play. There's a place for everybody. You've just got to go look. But what I would recommend is the higher your grades, the more options you have. You don't go to junior college because you want to. You go to junior college because you have to.
And I would say to that, Jesus, is you guys need to try to find schools that you're interested on. Try to find out what the requirements are for those schools. So you can better prepare yourself. Steve said, like, having better grades is not only going to help you have more options, but also in some schools you might be able to qualify for academic scholarship, which is going to help you overall as well. So.
I was wondering, do any of you guys have a sports management or a sports psychology major or minor?
Easy yes or no? Like that.
How many of you have visited a college campus? How many have you visited more than one college campus? Visit the schools. I think every school here has its benefits, drawbacks, roadblocks, but you guys need to visit the schools. See that as well, because more so than just being an athlete there, you're going to be a student there. So you need to see more than just the soccer field and the practice facilities, so you see the university.
So do we just email the college and say we like to go on a visit?
You can. You can take an official tour through the university set up by them, and they'll do a really in-depth tour. But you can email the coaches as well, kind of find out, kind of probe their schedule. They may be in, they may have time, they may not. Pick a game, pick a day. Yeah, you can do those. A lot of the coaches are pretty open to that as well.
How many have you seen get our college A in the last 12 months? That's important as well. It's important that you know the level, you understand the level, because it's one thing, you know, one to say that you want to go play at South Carolina or play at X school, but it's really important that you see the level as well and understand the level. You know, you see Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA. There's very good programs in each division. It's really important.
What's like the training like? Is it year round or is it just like during the season?
Training is year round. I think that's one thing people don't understand. You know, we play our main season in the fall, but I'm sure most coaches would say we probably train more in the spring because we're not going light days and days off in preparation for games, that sort of thing. Whereas in the spring, you limited the amount of games you can play. You can actually play 5 dates in the spring. So you're training a lot harder and a lot longer in the spring than you are in the fall.
What's a typical day in the life of a college soccer player at College of Trust?
Well, right now we train in the afternoons. So guys will wake up, have their first class 8, 9, 10 o'clock, take class till noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Obviously get some lunch and then head out to the training ground around, have to be there at 1:30 for 2 o'clock training. We also require study hall hours of our guys, and definitely of the freshmen, some upperclassmen. So by the time we finish training, guys head back to campus, lunch, study hall, maybe a class later on that day. But the class isn't all day, you know, it's kind of the schedule you make. So, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you might have 3 classes, and then on Tuesday, Thursday, have 1 class. But every majority of the time, classes are 8 a.m. until noon or 1, and then training, and then obviously the rest of the day is kind of up to you, whether you need to go to class or whether you need to do study hall. But that's a common day.
What if you miss that extra hour?
Say that again?
Like in study hall, what if you miss it?
You don't want to do that. So study hall is, for freshmen, it's required 6 hours a week. You also meet with academic advisor once a week. You know, if you miss it, for us, our policy, if you miss it the first time, you don't train the next 2 sessions and you just run. You miss it the second time, then you will not dress the next game. You miss it the third time, you could be dismissed from the team.
What's like the grades that you have to obtain in college?
Just at the College of Charleston, or
Yeah, just as well.
NCAA wise, I mean, there's rules. I mean, after freshman year, I want to say it's right around a 2.0 to stay eligible. And then as far as after that, it's right about the same. You know, there's some guys who are ineligible, so they can't play in games, but they can continue training, that sort of thing. But staying above the 2.0 and right around the 2.0 is the level to maintain eligibility.
And each team will put their understandings on what that committed to 2.0 to stay eligible and progress towards degree as well. You can't just take 12 classes once you establish the major. So each, like I said, each university is going to be different in that sense because they put 2.0s standard, but there are a lot of universities out there that are going to rely on it.
Is it harder to get scholarship opportunities as far as academics and need-based at a public university versus a private university?
I think with scholarships, every school is different. You know, the levels are different. Division 1 and 2 can offer scholarships. Division 3 can't offer athletic scholarships. NAIA can do what you want. But, you know, there's different schools. You know, even in Division 1, Division 2, there are schools that are fully funded. There are schools that have very little. Some schools can stack academic on top of that. We, for example, can put academic on top of athletic, on top of need-based, on top of open life scholarships, on top of housing scholarships. There's a way you can put different pieces together to get the best package possible. I worked at a private school before Lando, which is a state school, so I've experienced a bit of both, and usually you can make them pretty comparable. Private schools generally cost a little bit more in general, but sometimes that's offset with higher scholarship opportunities. So you just got to do the business academically, do the business on the field, and then put yourself out there for as many different scholarship opportunities.
You can play at any division and still make it to MLS or play Big Ten?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you guys address the whole full ride myth? I think being on the club side, I think there's a misconception that full rides were aplenty for soccer players here in America. Can you guys help me dispel that myth?
Well, I'll ask this question first. How many scholarships do you think Division I team has? 10 is close. 9.9 is the max amount of scholarships you can give. And that's for, you know, a lot of teams carry close to 30 guys. So doing the math there, a majority of schools aren't passing out full rides. You got 20 other players you got to look after as well. So that's important to know, knowing how much scholarship a team has when you're realizing and calculating all that in.
Is that for like 1 year or is that for 4 years?
9.9 each year.
They sign, don't you do a different contract every year, so you could be like 20% 1 year and a different amount another year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
so you renew it every year?
Correct. I mean, you can sign a contract 1 year that's, like you said, 20%. You know, if you do well, sometimes that scholarship can increase. But at the same token, you could do some things off the field, you know, academically, socially, that decrease that as well.
What's the best way for these boys to get noticed by coaches or market themselves, you know, to the schools to get the opportunities? Is it through email or sending videos or ID camps? What's the best way?
All of it.
All of it?
Yeah. Being proactive, doing your research, getting in touch with schools, providing them with the right information, you know, name, graduation year is very important. If you send me an email and I don't know what year you graduate in, different divisions can't respond to different, you know, grade levels. Providing as much information and being seen as much as possible. Really getting yourself out there. Video is also helpful. Just being proactive, doing your research. A few coaches have already talked about going to visit schools, going to see schools play. Right, being realistic with your options. If you go go and see Clemson play, can you see yourself playing there? You know, and it's going to be different for each school. But the more schools you visit and the more research you do, then you'll start to find your fit. You may go visit Georgia Southern and visit Georgia State. You may see things at Georgia Southern that you like that maybe you didn't see at Georgia State. And then you start to compile a list of things that you want in your school.
You've got to follow up as well. Like, one email is not going to get it done. I can speak for all of us here. We get tons of emails from guys just like yourself, and we can't respond to every single one. There's just not enough hours in the day. So you've got to first have your initial message stand out to catch our attention, whether that be, you know, a detailed profile or your references on there, your video, different links to tell us all about who you are. But then if you don't receive a response in a week or 2 weeks, you know, something like that, follow up. You know, follow up with a phone call. You know, you guys are on your phones. Some of you have got them out right now, 24/7. So, and you don't generally pick up the phone and talk anymore. We'll always, as coaches, we'll always happily speak to parents and answer their questions, but we're recruiting you guys at the end of the day. So you've got to show the initiative, pick the phone up, follow up, and then go visit, and just keep going through that process to make sure that you're connecting with those coaches.
I think for me too, guys, as well, be a little personal in those emails too. You know, do a little research on the school. If you want into the sports management program, for example, hey, I want to do that. I like the campus. I like the fields on the northeast side of campus. Be personal, so then when we get the blanket email and we're two sitting next to each other, hey, this kid actually really wants to come to Francis Mary. So try and separate yourselves a little bit from the rest. And like Coach just said, be personal, be creative with the email. As much information as you can within there.
For us, camps are really important, and the last couple of years, we've probably averaged about 60 or 70% of our players have attended one of our camps. So it's a really good way. And they were saying sometimes, especially at schools like ours, we get a lot of emails, and it's really hard to really connect and respond to everybody. So when you come to camp, you will see a lot of coaches that will come. So you'll be exposed to different coaches, different levels. But most importantly, you will be able to see where you are compared with everybody else. Most of the camps that we offer, I'm sure there's like an all-star team where we kind of pick the best campers, the best players of the camp. And if you're in one of those positions, that gives you a better opportunity to be seen by the coaching staff. So like I said earlier, find the school that interests you, find where their camps are, contact the coach, attend to camp, let them know that you're interested. And for us, that's a great way to be able to identify you and see you and put you in our radar.
To follow on from that as well about the camps, 15 of our last 29 recruits attended a camp at some point in Atlanta. That's over 50%. A lot of the other ones for us in Division 2 were international guys that couldn't make it. So a lot of our domestic recruiting, because we could come and watch you in a one-off game, you might have a stinker, okay? And that might be the end of it. But if you come to a camp for, let's say, summer residential camp for 4 days, you know, we're going to get to see you in technical drills, small-sided games, 11v11, against different people that you've not competed against before, and see how you do in that environment. So it's massively important that you get out there. One-day ID camps, most programs have them. Summer residential camps where you can be on the campus and live that college athlete lifestyle for 3 or 4 days, and get in. You know, that's your ticket, that's your front door into a program for 3 or 4 days. And every program, or a lot of programs, you know, put on those kind of camps.
I think also when you go on visits, you've got your behaviour as well, how you interact with your parents, how you interact with your siblings, all those types of things are very important. I think to most of them, I'm sure to all the coaches here. Because again, you know, you have to be careful. You guys grew up with a phone next to you. You know, we didn't, most of us. Steve's the oldest one here. Yeah, so you got to be careful when you go on visits, all that type of stuff. Because again, those are things that, for me personally, I look out for. Somebody, if I'm talking to somebody and they're on their phone, then it's probably going to be the end of that. You know what I mean? So just be careful when you. It's not. They're not only looking at you. If you're a really good soccer player, there's really good soccer players everywhere. But you want the best player and the best person you can find.
Yeah,
we can do that.
College, Keith Wiggins from the College of Charleston.
Rob Sean from London University.
Richard Craven, Dayton State University. Tyler Kettering, University of South Carolina.
Phil Heinsohn from Winthrop University.
Steve McCoo from Georgia Gwinnett College.
Camilo Rodriguez, Clemson University.
Lee Squires, Lander University.
Ricky Davey, Francis Marion University.
Connor Quicota, Georgia Southern.
Daniel Lesson, Georgia State.
Alright, last up here, guys, I want to give you the floor for just a little bit. Can you tell us, in like a minute and a half each, you can start back where that way or this way, whatever you want to do it, what you guys are looking for in your next couple of recruiting classes, type of person, type of player. If you're going to go to position, that's fine, but mostly hit on who they are and how they play, what your program specifically is looking for.
Sure. At Georgia State, first of all, we're looking for good character guys. We're looking for good personalities. We're looking for guys who are coachable, guys who are going to come in and work hard and better our program. We're looking for guys that have good grades. Obviously, the better your grades, the more opportunities you're going to open yourself up to different schools and also different scholarships. So, you know, academics above a lot. You know, if we have a kid that, say, maybe has a 3.6 GPA and a kid that has the same soccer talent with a 2.6 GPA, okay, we're probably going to go with the 3.6 GPA because he's going to be able to qualify for more academic money, which then in turn helps the school where we don't have to give as much athletic money to that player. Does that make sense? Okay, so the better your grades are going to come in all full circle to this full ride thing. You can create a full ride for yourself, but that only happens if you have good grades and good academics. So we're looking for good characters, good personalities, we're looking for good grades, and then guys that want to compete, guys that want to play, that enjoy playing, and enjoy playing at a high level, guys that want to better themselves and better the people around them.
Good. And I think what you'll hear as we go down this line.
Good luck.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. As we go down this line, you're just going to hear repetitive versions of the same thing there. No, but yeah, definitely. No, but I've been at Georgia Southern for 2 weeks, so I'm still learning about what type of person goes to Georgia Southern. But in just the 2 weeks that I've been there, the one thing that I know we want to get to is someone who, what I would call a pro. Okay, that doesn't mean you're coming in and you're a professional level soccer talent. All right, but you're coming in and you're coming to training every single day and you're working 110%. And you're going, and as soon as training's over, you're hitting the books, you're studying, you're getting above a 3.0 GPA in the classroom. Okay, and everything you do in the back of your mind, it's about winning a championship at the end of the year. All right, where every single aspect of your life Doesn't necessarily have to be geared toward around being like the best soccer player, but just the best student athlete you can be. And if you're going to do that, then that's someone that we'd want to be a part of our program.
Echo that as well. I think for FMU right now, we didn't have a good year last year, to be honest with you. And I think we have to get back to a blue-collar, working hard mentality to fix that. You know, so that's really what we're looking for, is people that, like Coach said, are going out there every day, even if you've had class until 2:30 and we train at 3 o'clock. You're out there, you're busting it, you're doing what you got to do for that hour and a half, and then you're done. Then you can go sleep, you can take a nap, you can do your work. But we need people every day, and you guys will get into it. So there are some days where it's tough, it's a slog. You've had class all day, you've got a test tomorrow, you know, your head's kind of not there. But we need people every day who are going to be coming out, grinding, working hard for each other, and being good teammates. Hold each other accountable for what you're doing every day, whether it is in the classroom, it is on the field. Be a good teammate, be a good member of the soccer program, and then also you're representing the university too. So off of the field, we're looking for you to be out in the public, giving good impressions, you know. We need that back. We need people to come to our stadium to watch us play, and if they know you as good people, good players, good guys, they're going to come and watch us. So that's what we're after, is just that blue collar, enjoy your football. Come have fun and play with us.
Yeah, it's, I mean, similar message to what these guys are saying. I think we're looking for people that can enhance our culture, that are good communicators, because I think that's a dying art among younger generations. So we're looking for guys that, as soccer players, are highly technical, that are comfortable and brave in possession of the ball, that want to try and play. We're looking for guys that physically take care of themselves, you know, do the smart things in their recovery and their preparation, take the game seriously, and physically can compete at the college level. Tactically, do you have a good understanding and a good knowledge of the game? You know, it's one thing being highly technical, but if you can't put that into effect, you might not be that effective. So guys that are technically very, very good, tactically sharp and understanding the game and can communicate it to a high level and can fit into different systems and have that versatility. Physically, as I said, you know, be able to compete at the college level. It's fast, the speed of play, the intensity is a big jump, which a lot of people struggle with initially. And then mentality. For me, that's the key piece. You know, you guys can all play, but who's got that extra little something? Who's got that edge? And there's no secret formula to having that edge. Sometimes you've got it, sometimes you don't, but it can also be developed. And if you can develop that edge, that little something different, you know, when your back's against the wall, when you're 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go, you know, can you still be pushing your team forward and find a way? And we're looking for those guys with a little bit of an edge, a little bit of something different that can impact our program and have the ambition and the mentality to want to be national champions. That's our goal. We're not shy about stating those goals. So if you've got that kind of attitude and that kind of work ethic, we could be a good school, good fit for it.
The recruiting needs for us, obviously, and for all the programs kind of change every year, depending on what kind of players you graduated. But the one thing that remains constant for us is we're trying to find character players, both on and off the field. That's one of the biggest things for us. In Clemson, we're pretty big when it comes to culture and cultivating the right culture, both on and off the field. So we want to make sure that we find kids that are going to come and are going to understand the culture that we have and help us maintain that level of excellence that we are trying to set up. Lastly, I think for us it's important that you understand and you are proud and you want to be a Clemson. So when we go to South Carolina in the fall, you guys understand the importance of that game for us. So those are the things that we're looking for. We're looking for high character kids that want to be a part of Clemson.
Georgia Gwinnett, the university itself is only 13 years old. My program's only 6. I started it 6 years ago. The university was set up for that first generation college student. So we've got something a little bit unique going on up in Lawrenceville. But the kind of guy we're looking for is a winner. We've been to 4 out of 5 NAI national tournaments in the 5 years that we were eligible. Now that helps me keep my job. The wife likes that there's food on the table. But that's not success to me. Success to me, though, a winner is, are you winning on the field? Are you improving? Out of 1 to 25, if you're 25, are you a better player when you leave after 4 years than when you arrive? Are you winning in the classroom? Right? If some of you if you're a 2.5 and you give me 2.5 work, you've won. If you're a 3.5 and you give me 2.5, you haven't done your job. Are we maximizing you in the classroom? What kind of person are you growing and developing? Coach just talked about character, culture. That's massive in our program. We've got 8 different countries, and even the domestic kids. They're all from all over the world. All right, their families have all coming from different places. So we're meshing such unique atmosphere in the changing room. But do you fit into that culture? Do you add something positive to the culture? All right, because you are a representative of the university when we go out and play, of your family. We want guys who are great representatives, and if we've done that, then we're probably winning some games, and I'm developing good people. Now we've got a great program that people want to be a part of.
Winthrop, again, a lot of the same things, but we want humble people, humble kids, humble individuals that want to release their potential on the field, in the classroom. And that may sound like common sense, but in my experience, not every player wants to release their potential. A lot of guys do, but the more people that you have like that in your team and your culture, the more chance for success. You may have 11 fantastic individual players, but it doesn't mean you'll be successful. You've got to find the right people. And I think if you look right now, Stanford's probably the most successful. They are the most successful team in college soccer, and it's down to they don't have the best players, but they have the best culture. That's why they're winning. So I think that's what everybody's kind of striving for.
We're looking for impactful players. We put a lot of time and effort into our teams over the years. We want players that want to leave their mark on the field, in the classroom, in the community. Not just what can South Carolina give to me, but what can I give back to South Carolina? Or what can I give back to my teammates? Or what can I contribute in my classroom? So we're looking for impactful players. As we've seen this past year, that we had kind of a shift, and we need players that can say, you know, I'm going to help in any fashion possible. If I'm playing in a position, am I carrying the ball back? Am I grabbing the pins? Am I grabbing the cones? How are you going to make your team better? I think we're kind of in a culture shift right now because we didn't have a lot of those players. We had some, and those players did a lot of the work, and it wore on them over the course of the year. And it wears on them over the course of their career. But the more people we have that say, I'm not just a number, and I'm not just going to be a carefree 4 years here, and just kind of enjoy my time. But you got to put yourself out there and be impactful, and that's what we're looking at for South Carolina.
Players there, I mean, academics have to be as high as possible. I mean, your ability obviously needs to be as high as possible. And when you're applying, like they've all said, make sure that you want to come to the school. A lot of times I'm speaking to kids and I'm following up for videos, or they don't seem too eager to come there. It's the eagerness and the want to be there. If you want to go to a school, let them coach know you want to be there. And when you're there, you need to be an impact player. And a lot of it is growing up as a freshman. A lot of people coming in and missing class and stuff like that. If you're coming in as a freshman boy, you need to step up to the plate, right? That's a lot of things that everyone's looking for. Maturity, eagerness to win, and the want to be there. That will take you along a lot of the way in the college career.
Yeah, again, just a combination of everything that all the coaches said. Good player, good attitude in the classroom, good people, and want to make a 4-year investment to our program. Like, it's not like, say, if you're coming in as a freshman, you're skipping class, you're not doing the right things, and that's not going to work. You need to come in and make your impact on the community, and set yourself up for whatever you want to do after college, whether that be a professional career in soccer, or coaching, or an accountant, or whatever you want to do after soccer. Putting yourself in that best position to set yourself up to achieve your goals after you graduate.
College of Charleston, I work for a head coach who's been there. Going to start his 32nd season in the fall. It's pretty incredible, and the culture that he's created is incredible as well. The fact that he's been able to maintain it that long. We want players who are committed to the program, committed to getting better as a person, committed to getting better academically, committed to getting better on the field. We feel we haven't done our job if at the end of your college career or when you graduate that you're not a different person than you were when you first started, then we don't think we've done our job. That's not to say we recruit terrible kids or anything like that, but we're trying to grow you as a person. Obviously as a player as well. Soccer-wise, our goal right now is to win a conference championship. We've been in the CAA, Colonial Athletic Association, for 5 years now. Finished third last year, which was our best finish. It's a challenging conference, but we know we're right there, and that's our goal as a team. But first and foremost, we're trying to build a person. Build you as an individual, build you as a player as well. But commitment is the big thing that we ask for from our players.
Well said, guys. Appreciate it. Lastly here, just as you look for your ideal college, whatever it is, the thing that I've told my guys, you're looking for the best academic and soccer experience possible. And I can go down the list of these colleges here. I mean, when you look at some of the facilities at Georgia Gwinnett, you see Lander and Francis Marion Soccer Stadium. You'd be blown away how gorgeous their facilities are. Right? You've seen, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Winthrop. They all have gorgeous facilities. Clemson, South Carolina, but even at all levels, there are fantastic experiences out there, and you got to match what the academic and the athletic experience is going to be for you. Right? And I think these guys offer a wide array of knowledge and experience. I've coached one of them. I've played against some of them over my time, but this is a good group of coaches, and if you have more questions, I'm sure afterwards they'll be more than happy to speak with you if necessary. But now let's give them a hand. They did a good job.